Welcome to the Station Wagon. I'm the older brother, Mark.
And I'm little sister Julie. This is the podcast where my brother and I give up something we take for granted and tell you how it goes.
Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Mark.
How's it going?
I am gearing up for another exciting 2 weeks of horrible thing.
So what are we doing this 2-week period, Julie?
We are going to be giving up sleeping in a bed.
Yeah, this is totally going to stink, huh?
Yeah, I guess it depends on a definition of what exactly this means.
You're right. It does depend on that.
Ugh.
Can I give you the definition?
Yeah, what's a bed?
Do you want to tell me what you think a bed is?
This is tricky because
Yeah,
bedding,
it is.
Bedding. Oh,
okay.
I'm so glad we devote like a good fourth of our podcast to definitions. Okay, because bedding could be like anything used for sleeping.
All right, let me just stop. Let me just tell you.
Okay, tell me.
Let's shortcut this.
Thank you, please.
This circus.
End this misery. Wait, what did you just say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
So a bed is a structure that
You
one
kiss
uses
your
to sleep
mom
on.
with that mouth?
I sometimes do, yes.
All right, ew.
A bed is a structure that one uses to sleep on.
A structure.
Right, a structure.
So not just a mattress on the floor.
Well, the mattress itself is a bed because it is a structure.
Oh.
So now hold on a second.
I thought I found a loophole.
No, let's get into this a little bit more.
Okay.
And just to clarify, bedding is the stuff on the bed that's used to insulate the sleeper from cold, and it's things like sheets, blankets, quilts, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So a sleeping bag is essentially zippered bedding. It's not a bed.
It's not bed. Okay.
It's not bed.
That's
All
important
right, so
because
it is really
otherwise
important.
we were going to be really cold for the next 2
Right. It's really important. Okay, but I also asked Cora.
Can you spell Cora so people don't think that's just a person you asked?
Yeah, sorry. Cora.com.
O-R-A.
QUORA.com.
Q-U.
Do you got it?
Yeah. I got it.
Let's see. I don't know why that escaped me. Must be the Smartie juice I'm drinking.
Oh, man. We got to talk about that.
My question is an inflatable sleeping pad or floor mat considered a bed?
Yeah.
And I got one response. And basically the response is that most people do not consider those things to be beds.
What?
Right. So this is coming from somebody who is the owner of, it looks like a bed sleeping, a bed company?
A bed sleeping company is that what you
Shut up. Shut up. I'm a professional. Hashtag pro skills. According to this one other person, and basically the way I'm thinking about it too, an inflatable sleeping pad or like a rollout mat that you would use for camping is not a bed.
Right.
But my definition that I found and kind of corroborated among different definition sites, and of course the references in the show notes, says that a structure that you sleep on. So let's talk about the word structure. So a mattress is a structure. I mean, if you tear apart a mattress, it has multiple components in it, multiple materials, things that are linking it up here and there. It's not just, as a sheet is, just one piece of material.
This is fascinating.
Okay, so my point being that like those inflatable mats, those have structure inside of them.
Yeah.
So that means they're a bed.
I mean, I think we have to go with the spirit of this podcast, which is a bit
We
of
did talk about the spirit
self-deprivation.
and the intent in our last episode. That's
right.
true.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you.
I still have that. We are supposed to be giving up things that we take for granted, tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah, if you get through the next 2 weeks by using your inflatable mattress, I'm going to have a serious bone to pick with you.
Oh, wait a
Unless
minute.
you have like.
Wait, you don't want us to use inflatable mattresses?
No,
I just thought you said it wasn't a bed.
it's not. But I'm
So
saying
then what's your point?
that the spirit of this podcast is to appreciate things we're taking for granted.
So wait, you want us to just sleep on what?
Bedding on the carpet.
Oh, so we could put like blankets down on the carpet.
Yeah.
So could we put out down enough blankets to like stack up to be as high as our bed?
As long as if you put a raw pea under it.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's all about the
we'll get there.
spirit. I'll be serious. It's all about the spirit. Okay, yes, we're going to get there.
Let's go into it, and then we'll get back to it, and then I'll kibosh your dreams.
All right, sounds really good. So agreed that a bed is a structure that you sleep on.
Yes.
Are you ready to finally move on?
Please.
All right, here's the quiz. Okay, you ready? Number 1. Good.
Did I get one right?
Let's see. Which method is better to get rid of bed bugs if you can't get a new mattress and box spring? Choice A, encasing your mattress.
Like in plastic or something to suffocate them?
I'm not going to give you any hints, Julie.
Okay.
Or B, pesticides.
I'll say encasement.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Good job.
Right.
And according to the University of Illinois, encasing mattresses and box springs is often better than treating them with pesticides or throwing them away. Why do you think that's the case?
I mean, I guess it kills them and prevents any more of
How
the
does it
cycle.
kill them?
I mean, by cutting off their oxygen.
No, not cutting off their oxygen. So that's a good point. It's not plastic you're actually encasing them in. Encasements are generally just a very fine fabric that they can't crawl through.
Oh, then I have no idea. I guess maybe just prevents their reproductive cycle?
No, it actually prevents them from eating. They can't get to their food. Right? So they eventually starve to death. So basically what you're doing by encasing them is making a colony of little tiny creatures starve to death. Real nice, Julie. Good job. Okay, number 2. You got it right. Good job. And pesticides. You never want to use pesticides on your mattress because then you're going to have to sleep on that, and that just is bad. It can get into your body.
Good point.
Which of these is a bed? Ready? Choose one. A hammock. B, a waterbed. Or C, a sleeping bag.
I'm guessing B because of your previous definition of it includes a structure. And I remember you had a waterbed.
Oh, yes, I did. It was great. It was back in the sexy early 90s.
Ew.
Wait, actually, was it the sexy late 80s?
It was the 80s because you graduated in 88. So.
Oh, that's true. Right. Yes, it's been a very long time.
And then when you went to college, I got to sleep on your waterbed. And it was awesome.
Did?
Oh, whoops.
Let's see. Which of these is a bed? Right. So you got it, waterbed, but also a hammock based on my Wikipedia research.
Pick one.
Did I? No, actually I didn't. I said, which of these is a bed?
Okay. Yeah, I guess which isn't an inclusive or.
Right. So a hammock is also a bed because it's a structure.
Okay.
Yeah, a sleeping bag isn't based on our previous conversation, which you were paying attention to not.
But
actually you were because you got that one right, but you missed hammock.
I have 2 out of 3.
I'll give you 0.5 on that one.
What?
Half a point.
Okay, fine.
But its weighting is actually only an eighth.
Dude, you suck.
Okay. In the U.S.,
Mom.
You have to get all of these correct to get this last question right.
Okay.
In the U.S., what are the most common bed sizes? And I'll let you know that there are 6.
I know them all.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Starting with the smallest.
Oh, do I have to do them in order?
Otherwise, I'll mess up.
Twin.
Good.
Double.
No.
Full.
Yes.
Then double.
No. Double's not one of the options.
Oh. Okay. Twin, full, queen, king, California king.
Very good. You missed one.
California queen.
No, it's called Twin XL.
Oh, dude, that's made up.
You think?
No,
Let's see,
I'm just
I'll
saying
look
that.
it up. Twin XL bed.
I have to go to bed eventually, so let's. There shall be no Wikipedia while we are podcasting.
Sure. Well, that's the quiz. I'm going to give you that because we're unsure.
Yes!
Yeah, because we're unsure of whether or
3
not
out of
a
3.
Twin XL is a real thing. It could just be fiction.
I win.
Well, you got 2.5 points.
Oh.
And the half point that you got was only worth 1/8 of all the weighting. So I don't have a calculator on me right now, but you didn't totally get it. Sorry.
Okay. I still have something to shoot for. I'm getting better, though.
You are, totally. Let's go on to history, okay?
All right.
Music. Our history starts today at 75,000 BCE.
What?
Yeah, that is the first, not recorded because it wasn't recorded, but an archaeological dig turned up a piece of a mattress from 77,000 years ago.
No way.
It's the first found mattress, or first, what would you say? The first evidence of a mattress, the earliest evidence of mattress use.
Okay, but what was this mattress like? Like a stuffed
It's not
deer
anything
pelt?
that, no, it's nothing that you'd want to sleep on, probably, princess, but it would be, it was layered. And then the top layer had these kind of leaves on it that actually are not prevent, but what would you say, inhibit bugs and things from coming on it.
Okay, that's
From getting on it.
awesome.
Yeah. And then I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
1833, just a bit. Don't get a nosebleed. It happens fast. 1833, the first waterbed was invented.
What?
It's called the hydrostatic bed, invented by Dr. Neil Arnott for his practice to help, and for a hospital he worked at to help patients with bed sores. And essentially it was a tub of hot water. And on top of it, it was layered with rubber and other things to separate the patient from the water.
Now that is pretty fascinating. That's kind of similar to how current beds help prevent patients from getting bed sores. I mean, they just very minorly like shift them around while they're in the hospital just to prevent the bed sores from happening.
The beds move the patients around?
Yeah. Yeah, the beds just like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so just creak a little bit, and they're just moving just a very little bit just to make sure that the patient isn't laying on that same spot all the time.
Is it like magic fingers?
Exactly. It's exactly that.
Look it up, listeners. 1947, the first TV couple was shown on air in the same bed.
Ricky Ricardo and Lucy.
Wrong. They were actually through their whole career in two twin beds.
Oh, no wonder.
And interesting, yeah, in this research I found, totally side note, that even when she was huge and pregnant, and on the day that she gave birth to her son, she recorded an episode where she gave birth to her on-air son.
Oh my gosh.
They couldn't even say pregnant.
Are you serious?
And they tried to hide the fact that she was pregnant that whole time.
Well, it's pretty racy, the fact that humans exist.
Exactly. But anyway, this show was called The Johnny and Mary Kay Show, also portrayed by two real-life married couples. Or two real people who were married to each other.
So
How do you say
two
that?
couples.
Not two couples. Yeah. And so, yeah, it predates the I Love Lucy show.
Oh, interesting.
And I also, in the show notes, in the table for the history, I have an interview with Mary Kay, which is kind of neat to watch. Early 1970s, the Thermarest was invented.
What's that?
Well, the Thermarest was the first of these self-inflating air mattresses that you have, that I have. It was a camping mattress.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, those are awesome.
1974, the Craftmatic company started up.
Well,
you know what Craftmatic
what's
is?
that? No.
Oh, I'm sure you've seen it on TV a lot. It's the kind of bed where you have a remote control and the top can tilt up, or the feet area can like move up or down. So
yeah,
like,
that always looks fun.
Yeah, doesn't that look a lot of fun? But I think it would be cool if you were watching TV or reading, I suppose. But
and like
I don't know.
It just took too much energy to pick up a pillow and put it behind you.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, why can't this
Right.
bed do it for me?
Right. And somebody created that. 1982, the first futon sofa bed was brought to the U.S.
Do you remember Living in Bloomington, the Futon Factory theme song?
No. How'd it go?
Hey, nice bed. Where did you get it? Huh? Oh, the Futon Factory. It's a sofa by bed. Or wait, it's a sofa by day and a bed by night. Is that true? Yes, it is. Absolutely right. The Futon Factory. The Futon Factory. Futon, Futon, Futon Factory.
Now, you did your undergraduate and master's and PhD work there?
No, just my undergrad.
Oh, just
you
your
did
undergrad.
Your master's there, right?
I did my, yes, I did.
Mom
I
did
don't
her PhD.
remember, right. And I don't remember any of that. How did you still remember that?
It was the most amazing commercial on the radio. See, I was listening to the radio.
It was a
Per
radio
our
commercial.
last episode.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah, and I had one of these, a futon sofa bed, all through undergrad. That was my bed.
All right. You were
And it was the most
ahead of
uncomfortable
time.
thing ever.
Interesting. So why did you use it?
Well, it was great to move around.
Okay.
It was super easy to and portable. 1987, the Select Comfort Company began operation. You know what Select Comfort is?
No.
That's the kind of bed where you can basically each side has its own number dial, or if it's a twin, you have your own number
Oh, I
dial.
wish I had that.
Oh my god! And it inflates or deflates to give a firmness, like the Sleep Number system. 1992, Tempur-Pedic Memory Foam Company came to the U.S.
And changed America forever.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, it's a real thing. It exists. And, we actually have one, but I'm kind
Do
of
you?
tired of it. Yeah, we have one. We've had it for a long, long time now.
How do you like it?
Well, I liked it for the first several years, but now it's lost its resilience. And so, like, my side just has this huge divot in it, just like I think any mattress would.
Right.
So I think I'm ready for a new one. So, listeners, please email me to put pressure on Kendra to buy us a new mattress.
Okay.
2007.
So wait, how long have you had your current mattress for?
Oh boy, it's been longer than my 11-year-old's been alive. So I would say like 13 to 15 years, maybe.
My mattress is from when Mom was in grad school in Memphis.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Well,
And like you could clearly see the indents of human forms in it.
oh man, if you leave that in, that's going to sick out so many people. All right. And make other people just go, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's got to be a common theme. I mean, because they're really expensive. And I want a good one, but,
Yeah, totally. 2007, the Cuddle mattress was invented. You know what this is? It's awesome. Okay, so you know that thing where when you want to give the person in bed with you a big old hug?
No.
And you try to hug them, but then they're like resting on a weird angle over your arm.
And if they're like me, they're like, do not touch me. I am sleeping. Get the hell away.
Okay, well, that's another podcast.
Oh, okay.
What I'm talking about here is just how ungainly it is for somebody to be lying on top of your arm. Your arm goes to sleep. Yeah. It's like they're lying on a piece of pipe or something like that. It's not comfortable for anybody. So with the Cuddle mattresses, imagine this, and I have pictures of it in the show notes, but it is made up of basically looks like 3-inch slats of foam that are comfortable. And then it lets you like stick your arm down into it underneath the person while the rest of your body is still kind of like up normally on the bed.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. It looks pretty good. The Cuddle mattress lets you cuddle. Not anything else.
No, nothing else.
Just cuddling.
Okay.
This is a family-friendly show. 2014, and this is where I'm going to stop. Casper Mattress Company starts up. And I'm including it here. They
sponsor a lot of podcasts.
They do sponsor a lot of podcasts. And
Not
I'm including
ours.
No, they don't sponsor ours. Casper, we'd be willing to talk to you about it, though. I'm including it because I hear them advertised on podcasts, and I'm becoming brainwashed into thinking that they're a good product.
Right.
Which actually they may very well be. And I went to their site to look at like how much they actually cost and stuff just for this research. And yeah, they're relatively inexpensive. They have one mattress that you can get. It's really an interesting business plan. If you're into that sort of thing, go check them out just for that.
I mean, it's like any of those companies where it's something you buy online that logically you really should go try that in person. But you know that if you go in person, you have to deal with humans.
Oh, humanity sucks. Humanity stinks. We hate dealing with humanity in this household.
Exactly. So it fits into that whole model of, but I could just buy it online and it'll be good enough.
Anyway, hey, Julie, that's history.
Sounds like a lot of your history revolved around the awesomeness of mattresses.
And beds.
And beds.
They were beds. The theme was beds.
The theme is beds.
Julie, can you tell us about science? Science.
Okay. So, one of the interesting things is I had an assumption that sleeping not on a bed but on the floor would be good for my back. And other smart people had this assumption too. Like my partner, Jason, who's the smartest dude I know. I told him about this and his immediate reaction was, oh yeah, that'll be good for your back.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm hoping because I'm actually seeing my doctor for some serious lower back pain.
okay, dude, this is just a podcast. Seriously, if your back is hurting, please stop because I found no evidence whatsoever that this is good for you.
So, really?
Seriously, I found a lot of blogs by people who have no medical background saying this is great and also read about this supplement. I
Did
mean,
you know Grandma Edna used to sleep on a piece of plywood under the sheet?
okay, so that does not surprise me much because one of the things I found is that the way you're used to sleeping is going to be the best way for you. Grandma Edna came over to the United States as an 8-year-old maid. She probably
Uh-huh.
wasn't sleeping on a really comfy mattress back in the old country or back in the United or here in the United States.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, at any rate, just seriously, dude, take care of yourself because we're about to embark on stupidity. Here's
Yeah,
what I
I
found.
realize it. But okay, I will take care of myself, and I'll also try to keep notes on just how I feel too
Yeah, please do.
with that. Yep.
One thing that was interesting as I was looking through the peer reviewed literature is that when I looked on sleeping on floors, a lot of
Mhm.
the literature that came up was just evidence about horrible things that happened of overcrowding so bad that even prisoners must now sleep on floors, etc.
Hmm.
And you'll see some of the stuff in the show notes that it's like we consider in popular culture that if someone has to sleep on floor, that's tantamount to torture. I mean, we really
When
can
you say popular culture, do you mean U.S. culture?
U.S. culture, absolutely.
Okay.
But, it's not just in the U.S. So there was an interesting study in Japan of adolescents. Even in Japan, insomnia was more prevalent with individuals using futons on the floor, tatami, which I guess are like really thin mattresses. And even in Japan, for folks who are used to culturally sleeping without the same kind of Western style beds, it's insomnia is less frequent with the kind of Western style raised platform beds.
Let me make sure I understood that. So even in Japan, where culturally people would sleep on a thin futon on the floor without any kind of bed structure, just the futon itself, people are finding that when they sleep in a bed with a structure, box spring, the whole Western style of sleeping, they report less insomnia.
Exactly.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty compelling, right?
That is compelling,
Yeah, but
I
one
think.
of the reasons might be that vibration in the flooring can make it harder to sleep on the floor. So you and
Hmm.
I both live in houses because we live in suburbia.
Yeah.
But if you're living in, I don't know, Tokyo, or if you're living in a big city where you're in an apartment, there could be more vibrations in the floor. And that's going to
Mm-hmm.
make sleeping flat on the floor a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it seems to be a correlation. Okay, has nothing to do with Japan, but more bad reasons about sleeping on the floor. There seems to be a correlation between sleeping on the floor and getting malaria infection from mosquitoes
Oh God.
in countries that are prone to that, not here
Okay.
in Western Washington State.
Okay.
And it's hard to say whether or not this is due to just sleeping on the floor or if it's because when you're in a bed structure, it's easier to use mosquito netting.
Well, you could put mosquito netting over your whole mat or whatever you're sleeping on the floor. I don't know anything about malaria mosquitoes
Well,
or mosquitoes that transmit malaria. Do they like
those
fly lower to
malaria
the
mosquitoes.
those malaria mosquitoes? Do they fly closer to the ground?
No, I don't think they do. I think it has to do more with the netting. But, I always heard, the saying, don't let the bed bugs bite, that the bed bugs were low to the ground. And if you slept on a bed structure, you were less likely to have bed bugs.
That's not true at all.
Okay,
No,
never
not
mind
true at
then.
all. Yeah. So in my research on this on the bedding and I looked into bed bugs a bit. Yeah, they can easily get transmitted from luggage or clothes to your bed. They'll be on your skin when you go to
Ugh.
sleep and then
Ugh.
they just start going and hiding in the box springs.
Okay.
Actually, that's one of their best places they like to live in the
Blurg.
box spring. Yeah.
Okay,
Not
let's move
good.
on.
All
Okay,
right.
there's a couple good things about sleeping on the floor. One, it saves space. You can
Mhm.
definitely like crunch a whole bunch more people in there if you're sleeping on the floor instead of using beds. So that's
Mhm.
good, I guess. Also, it's easier to breastfeed at night if you have small children, and also if you've got
Wait, how?
Well, if you have a bed and you don't have like a really fancy co-sleeping attachment thing like you guys had, but if you have a crib and a regular
I like
bed,
to call it our bed sidecar. Our
you guys did have a really cool thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
If you're on a mattress and your baby is just really close to you, then it's a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about the baby or a toddler rolling off the bed.
Oh, I see. So it's safer, but not necessarily easier because the cool thing with, granted, I didn't do it. I was just witness to it. But during breastfeeding, Kendra was able to grab the baby out of the sidecar and like easily prop herself up against the headboard in the bed.
Yeah. So
relatively speaking, granted, it was a pain in the neck, I'm sure, but
yeah, it
if
sounds
you're
like
on the
simple for Kendra.
simple, easy, what a breeze. You don't have a backrest, I guess, is my point. If you're on the floor,
No, I mean, so she
so I
was
guess you
doing
don't
it
need
wrong.
one for breastfeeding.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
just delete all my comments on breastfeeding. Let's continue.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't.
Okay, so here's the bottom line from what I got from the science. I found no evidence that this is going to be good for our backs. What it seems to be is that if it's something you're used to, this is going to be just fine.
Okay.
But we get ingrained very early on in our sleep habits. I mean, that's why you and I and Kendra, Mark, that's why, I mean, what's his face?
I'm
Jason.
Mark.
Yeah, sorry. This is why your family and mine, we've focused so much on the sleep rituals for our kids to set them up for good sleep habits for their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're kind of screwing them a bit because they're going to be stuck with these sleep habits for life. And
they're going to be stuck with good sleep habits. Why is that screwing them?
Well, because, for example, maybe my kids, when they're 40 years old, are going to need to read books and then have someone tell them a story about bad toddler Jones before they go to bed every night, like they get now.
You're probably right about that.
Or, like for me, I need to have absolute dark when I sleep. So I sleep with a t-shirt over my eyes so that I can.
Oh, man, you should just ask Jason to put a pillow over your face.
Oh, thank you. And so, at any rate, it's the same kind of thing. You and I have both been used to sleeping in beds. When I was a kid, I used to sleep on the floor quite a bit, and I really liked that a lot. It was actually really comforting to me because when I was scared after seeing the movie Poltergeist when I was 6, you might recall a period in my life when...
It was 2 years.
Was it really?
Yes. You wouldn't go upstairs by yourself for 2 years after you watched that. Oh, and just as completely side note, Julie, I know, okay, listeners, you can fast forward this if you want to. But Julie, my kids, I told them this story. They wanted to know if I forced you to watch Poltergeist, and I told them no.
Oh, it was Wendy Lovinger.
Really?
Yeah, it was at her house.
No, I thought it was at our house. Like you watched it by yourself upstairs in the parents' bedroom.
No, that's how I watched Carrie.
Oh, my God. How old were you at this time when you watched Poltergeist?
Oh, I was 6 when I watched Poltergeist.
Oh, my God.
That was terrible.
So like you did a sleepover or something?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 years you wouldn't go upstairs by yourself. What is the point of the story?
That I used to sleep on the floor of Mom and Dad's room for a long time until I felt comfortable going back into my room despite the evil clown that lived in my closet.
Right. You actually had a clown that looked just like the one from Poltergeist, and for some reason we didn't throw it away?
We got it as a gift from a bar mitzvah, and Mom and Dad wouldn't let me get rid of it.
Okay.
At least that's how I remember it. I'm sure that's probably not the real story at all. It's much easier to vilify them in my memory.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not what happened.
I'm sure that's not what happened. I can't imagine. Now, thinking back logically that I'm saying that out loud, that sounds ridiculous. There's no way that's the truth of the matter. But anyway, so yeah, I would bring in my blanket and pillow, and I guess Mom and Dad would be too tired to object, and I would just fall asleep on their floor. And so for some reason, that became a really comforting thing to me. And so on and off throughout my life, I've slept on the floor, and it's never been a bad thing.
Oh, man.
I think I'm going to be okay, but I'm a little concerned about you, dude.
I am not going to like this.
Dude,
and
just
I might
a podcast.
Right. And yeah, so I'll keep note on like my mobility and stuff. And if it gets really bad, because like right now I experience pain just like going from a sitting to a standing position.
Well, that's because you don't exercise.
It could be because of that. Yeah, that's probably it. Or like I have discs that are puffing out of my spinal column, touching nerves and stuff. It's not a thing. Maybe. Could be.
Trust me, I'm a
Anyway,
doctor.
no, this is not going to go well.
Let's find out. We're going to listen to the pleasure kills for a while.
Let's find out.
And we're going to do some science on Mark.
Right.
And wish him luck. When we get back, we'll
Thank you.
see how determined he is to make this podcast a success. What does he
Right.
put first? His own personal well-being
Right.
or his art form?
Right. Stay tuned to find out. I'm very serious about our art.
Yeah, I can tell.
When we first got our dog, he was just a puppy and he was having some rough adjustments to our house, and I remember I had to sleep on the floor next to him a couple nights.
Oh, that's great. You gave your dog cuddle time on the floor to help him adjust?
Well, it was more about getting him out the back door in time if he needed to go.
Well, I really missed you. We've been together now for 11 years, and we've always slept in the same bed, so it's a little bit unusual to not have your partner there beside you. So it was unusual and different.
He's used to Mommy doing weird stuff. Daddy's used to it.
Well, that's a good point. Thank you. Are you used to me doing weird stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you'll sleep on the floor or a trapeze later, or, whatever you're going to do. I've learned to accept your oddities, especially with this podcast. You're going to keep it going and keep on doing weirder and weirder things.
I noticed you rolled your eyes just now. Do you want to talk about that?
I've got an eye thing. I've got an eye tick right now.
What was it like to sleep in our marital bed by yourself for 2 weeks?
I love my space when I'm sleeping. I love not being touched when I'm sleeping and not hearing another person breathing next to me when I'm sleeping. And I really like that when I get up in the morning out of bed, the only thing I have to do to make the bed is just like pull back one little corner of the cover that I messed up, and then the bed is made. It was delicious. It was fabulous. I loved it. I wish it could go on forever, and I was so sad when it was over.
Thank you, Matt, Jason, Elsa, and Kendra.
I have this great idea for Rumble Marketing,
Yeah,
a
what is
new
it?
tagline for them, or like a new
Right.
phrase.
Yeah.
Isn't your business worth it? Isn't it about time you started giving a f***? So can we call them and... Wait, let me say it better.
This episode is sponsored by Rumble Marketing. Rumble Marketing will help you explain even complicated products and services simply, crisply, and with compelling emotional resonance. Call Rumble to nail your brand voice, communicate key product messaging, or schedule an award-winning workshop to train your sales and executive teams to create more effective business communications.
You can contact Rumble Marketing on LinkedIn and find them at rumblemarketing.com. And you can use their communication strategy and go-to-market plans to take a big picture look at what you're doing and then develop marketing programs designed to meet the business objectives.
Hey, Julie, welcome back.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm
Is your
doing
back
great.
hurting?
It is. You know what? I just want to say that the thing that makes my back feel so much better is when people buy merch off our website.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, we have awesome T-shirts, or I guess T-shirt, and we have we have
Get
a
it
couple.
quick.
I know, and we have a couple really cool stickers.
Oh, yeah, the stickers are going to be so cool. They're the kind that you can put like on your laptop, but also your car. They're like solid.
Wait, do you mean that there's stickers that you could only put on your laptop or only your car?
Those are the only two things. It was it was an inclusive or.
Ah, got it. That's really good. So are you practicing your Boolean logic a little bit?
I am. Asterisk.
Or percent sign?
Or percent sign, sure.
Okay.
This is getting nerdy.
Okay.
Which is so not us.
No, not totally not us. Hey, so
What have we been doing?
we have been not sleeping in our bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really happy this is over. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you had a rough start. How'd it go?
I did have a bit of a rough experience. Let me see if I can paint the picture.
Wham, wham, wham. What, did you break a bone?
Yeah, I did. I actually broke a bone in my foot. I broke the piggy that went wee all the way home.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was, it was the first night. It was after we were recording. And actually, it was the Tuesday after we recorded. And
Wait, are you lying now or were you lying then?
I was confabulating 2 days together.
Okay, fine.
Is that the right word?
Our listeners will let us know.
Okay, thanks. So I was setting up the place where I was going to sleep on the floor. And that night, it was going to be right in front of the foot of our bed. Actually, I did that for the first 2 nights. And after I laid out my
it's kind of
sleeping
degrading.
bag, it is. It's like being the dog on the floor
That's
in
what I
front
was
of in front of the human's bed. Where were we before you told me I was being degraded?
I don't know. Wham, I broke a bone.
Right. So anyway, I was walking around setting my non-bed up, and I slammed my left foot into the foot of my wooden bed frame.
Oh, and I've seen that thing. It's like a solid, like real bed.
Well, it's like what adults sleep in. It's got a wooden bed, a footboard, and a wooden headboard.
It's not a plastic car bed.
It is not a plastic car bed. No offense to your little one, but I always wanted a plastic car bed when I was a kid. But Nina and Mort would never get that for me.
Instead, you had to have a water bed.
Yeah, right. I instantly just saw stars and kind of blackness.
Oh my
God. Then I just started cussing at the top of my lungs. Is what I remember. And now Kendra says that I didn't really make a big fuss about it. She said that I was pretty tough and all that.
Wait, is that relative to your normal amount of fuss?
Yeah, because I usually make, when I'm sick, I'm awfully sick. And when I'm. So anyway, here I am in the middle of the room. I'm going around in circles with my broken toe. And I finally look down and it's kind of like hanging off at like a 45-degree angle.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. I didn't know that could happen when you broke the little piggy who went wee wee wee. I just thought it got a little bit broken.
No, this thing was mangled. So Kendra helped me out and she got me some ice and I was able to just press the toe back up next to the other toes. And I didn't wrap it or buddy tape it or anything at that point. I just wrapped it in ice for 20 or 30 minutes for a while.
That's good. Good
yeah,
work.
I took a bunch of ibuprofen and stuff like that. And then the next day I go into the doctor just to see what's what, if it's really broken or whatever. And so...
Just so you could know.
Just so I could know, right? I got x-rays that showed the broken bone. And I'll put those in the show notes for anybody who wants to see.
That says a lot about those
because it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And the weird thing about it is, Julie, I think it was the universe saying that I was getting punished for not using my bed.
Oh, really?
I mean, what other explanation could there be?
Oh, you're too good for beds, huh?
Right, exactly. But I showed that bed. I slept on the floor anyway.
Yeah, so, did your disfigured foot ailment make it hard for you to sleep?
No, I ended up wrapping them the little buddy wrap, so I wrapped the little piggy next to the slightly bigger piggy. That piggy that let's see.
Do you talk this way at work?
Yeah, sure. The little piggy goes to market. Little piggy stayed home.
Yeah. I get it.
The piggy that had none, and the little piggy that ran home were taped together.
Right.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear from Kendra on how stoic I was?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Hi there.
Hey, we don't actually have to talk about how stoic Mark was. You want to spill some other beans for the listeners?
Yeah, sure.
I'll ask you yes or no questions.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Is Mark a big whiny baby?
No.
What? I mean, in general, usually.
Yes.
Okay.
The next day when he wanted to go to the doctor, I was almost rolling my eyes thinking, whatever, you stubbed your toe,
exactly.
You hypochondriac. And I just thought that maybe I knew I did see it with my own eyes sticking out in this odd direction, but I just thought, maybe it just spread apart for a second and it would go back in place. So when he called me and told me that it was a really bad break, I was really surprised. So I thought he was very stoic with that.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting us interview you about Mark's stoicism.
My pleasure. It'll be the first and last time ever, I'm sure.
What, you were in before?
No, that you were stoic.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Hi.
Can
All
we
right.
talk about the actual not sleeping in a bed thing now?
Yeah.
Or do you want to
sure.
talk about your toe some more?
No, let's talk about the actual not sleeping in the bed thing some more. Basically, so there was the breaking my toe thing. So that just made it uncomfortable, but would have been uncomfortable if I was in a bed or on the floor, in a box with a fox, whatever. Sleeping on the floor sucks. But so I started with my sleeping bag, and we have carpet. So with, a pad under the carpet.
Yeah.
So already I'm doing better than much of the populated world, right? And so I also added in, starting on the first night, my self-inflatable Coleman sleeping pad.
Oh, nice.
It's old though, and I had to blow it up a little bit, so it's not super high end or anything. But that was, it's like maybe a half inch of extra padding.
Something.
Anyway, I woke up the next morning. I couldn't move.
Oh,
I couldn't move. And I don't know if you know this, but I've been having like chronic. Well, I talked about it in the first part of this episode.
Oh, man.
Been having this chronic back pain,
You should have stopped after the first night, dude.
and I am serious about our art, Julie. Unlike you, obviously. So this awful back pain, and it took me a while to get up. What I found out later was the sleeping bag that I used is it's not a cotton exterior. It's more of a nylon exterior. So that on top of the plasticky inflatable mat makes this really loud susurration sound.
I totally know what you mean. Yeah.
So Kendra told me the next morning that she had an awful time sleeping because every time I moved around, it was really loud.
Oh, no.
So I think I slept out by the foot of the bed for 2 nights. And then the rest of the time I slept in the bathroom that's off of our bedroom. And that's actually where our cats sleep during the night because our cats are extremely annoying. And they'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and paw at Kendra to want to get fed. So here I am. I laid out my stuff in the bathroom in such a way that I wouldn't get my head stepped on, like if Kendra or somebody had to come in. And so I close the door, I go to sleep, and then I'm lying there trying to get to sleep. And one of the cats uses the litter box. And it's just super stinky now in this bathroom because of the cats. So I had to get up and clean that. So had nothing to do with sleeping on the floor.
Right. It was all the extra stuff.
Right. But one of the things that I take for granted is that I don't sleep in a room with the cat box. And so this really brought home to me how important it is for me to appreciate that we have this separate area where if the cats go and use their cat box, it doesn't immediately stink up where we're sleeping.
People in other countries think we are insane idiots for having our dogs and cats inside, especially cats who poop in a box in your house where cats are perfectly delighted to poop outside.
You're going to have to go and do some research on that and get back to me because I can't think of any other country that considers Americans to be idiots.
Okay, fair enough.
Not fair enough.
That's what I say when I'm like, let's move on to the next subject. Mark, you live in a house with open boxes of poop.
That's true, yes.
By your choice. You chose that to happen.
Right. And we also chose, and because of that, we get to play in those boxes of digging out the cat roca all the time. It's terrible.
And like little bits of litter hanging around.
Right. But let's get back to sleeping on the floor.
So did your back hurt like the entire 2 weeks?
No, actually it was weird. After some nights, what I actually found was that I wasn't getting any support from the floor. And I did some reading about sleeping on your back, sleeping on your side, and how I should really try to make my posture the same as when I stand up. And what I noticed when I was lying down on the floor, there was no support. And so my posture was all weird. So I laid a towel out under sort of my upper back, and that really helped. And when I was able to do that, I had no back pain in the morning. It was amazing. I'm going to try that on my normal bed, see if that helps with my chronic back pain too.
That is great.
Yeah, totally weird. Towards the end of this, I would wake up in the morning feeling actually pretty darn refreshed. I would highly recommend that everybody go and sleep on their floors and not buy their beds. And sell their beds. Oh, I one thing I left out is that inflatable mattress wasn't giving me enough support or padding or something, so I laid out my yoga pad on top of it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right. So I think by the end of this, by some standards, you would say that I was actually sleeping on a bed.
Well, yeah, I think by a lot of standards. But
But
that's
I
okay.
didn't. But I did it the whole time.
And is your toe better?
Actually, my toe does feel a lot better. It's been, 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I can wiggle it now. It actually moves around.
Good.
Kind of like when my brain tells it to and stuff.
Is it all swollen and purple?
There's still no, it was never really purple, but there's still a little bit of swelling there. I'll actually put a picture of the toe like pointing the wrong direction and the x-ray on our show notes.
Maybe have
towards the bottom.
Yeah, explicit
with a trigger
content warning. Right, exactly.
It's not explicit. What are you talking about?
For people who are icked out by foot things, and then you've got like this disgustoid foot.
Oh, I also have a picture of the area that I was sleeping in with one of the cats on top of the sleeping bag for reference. That'll be in the show notes too, listeners. Go check it out.
And it can orient people into what is a cat.
Right. What does Pogo look like? I think it was Pogo on top of the mattress. Yep.
So I had kind of the opposite experience from you because first of all, I didn't break any bones.
Yay, good.
And I loved sleeping on the floor because
it took you back to what you were talking about before.
Maybe that was part of it. So I just laid down a blanket, and then on top of that blanket, it was me and a sheet and another blanket. And that was fine for like the first week.
What kind of blanket was it? Was it a blanket that was like filled with like 6 inches of fill?
No, it was just like a regular comforter.
Wow.
It wasn't super thin, but I will say by the second week, I started to feel kind of bruising, like in my like hip area, where like my bony hips are like poking through when I was lying on my side. So then
listeners, I'm sorry that you cannot unknow about Julie's bony hips. I am trying desperately to unknow that now.
So then I laid out my bathroom. I have a real cushion. I don't have
Wait a minute. Wait. Give me something else to think about, Julie. Before
yoga mats. Okay, I don't have a yoga mat, and I don't have an inflatable fancy Coleman thing from REI. So underneath,
it was actually from Target.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
I laid out a really fluffy bathrobe I have under my blanket, and that was my bedding. Cool. So, yeah, it was pretty hardcore. But I loved it, and it was kind of like what made your experience so bad was just like the peripheral aspects of it. It wasn't so much sleeping on the floor. For me, what wasn't so great was sleeping on the floor. Like, in fact, I think the bed would have been more comfortable. It was okay.
You think? Wait, you think the bed would have been more comfortable?
I was pretty comfy.
About?
I was pretty comfy down there, dude. I mean, except for the bruising.
Well, right. You do have a 20-year-old mattress. Isn't that what you told me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved being down there because I was all by myself. And so I have to be at work at like 0600. So I wake up really early in the morning.
She's in the military.
No, I'm not. I'm a civilian. But so really early in the morning. And so I try to go to bed as early as I can, which means the dogs and Jason are coming to bed at night. And every time they get into bed, I'm going to wake up for a couple of minutes. And so that's kind of annoying. Right. And so that didn't happen while I was on the floor. And because, I don't have like another human getting into the bed. And the other thing is I thought the dogs were going to be like, woohoo, mom's on the floor. It's
right, sure.
Time. Let's go lick her face.
Can
It's
you tell us
3 a.m.
where was your bedding positioned? Like
it was between our bed and a wall that has a window. So there's not a lot of space around me.
Okay.
But as soon as I put my stuff down and laid down, both dogs came over to like sniff and see like, what's she doing? And that was it. They were like not interested.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
Well, Jason's alpha in our house.
Really?
I think just kind of because he's taller than me, but whatever.
Whatevs.
I'm a little bitter. And at night, the dogs are constantly like up and down on the bed, but they never like snuggle into him. They always are like, oh, I think I'm going to lay on top of Julie. Or, like, it's really hot in here. You know, it would be even better if there was a really hot furry dog body pressed up against her.
Nice.
And then I like kick them off and then they come back on an hour later.
Right.
And, my Fitbit shows me all the times I'm waking up in the night, and it's a lot.
Was it more while you were on the floor than when you were in your bed?
No.
So
I was not waking up as much on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't have like dogs. And also our mattress is so old when Jason like turns over, it kind of wakes me up and I turn over.
Right.
So we were talking about it. We're totally going to shell out for a really nice mattress after this.
Okay.
Because
Mattress World, we're looking for sponsors.
Yeah. I really missed just those last few minutes at night of getting to talk about the day together and those first
Right.
few minutes in the morning when I
Right.
wake him up at like 5 a.m. and I'm like, are you awake? Yeah, just kidding. But still, I mean, that is nice. And it's nice in the middle of the night if I do wake up to look over and see him there. And so I did miss that a lot.
Yeah.
But I also really liked sleeping extra. That was nice.
Oh, I bet. That sounds really great.
So it also reveals to me that I need to make a priority out of getting the dogs off the bed. That like having pets on the bed is not good.
No, not good for sleep at all. No, when we
No.
get a dog, we're going to hopefully train it to be on its dog bed off the bed. Hopefully that'll work.
You heard it here, folks.
Right. Another cute thing about sleeping on the floor was that, and in the sleeping bag, since I was locked in the bathroom, our female cat, Matuka, was locked in there with me, and she squirmed down into the sleeping bag and cuddled up next to me and was like purring next to me all night. So that was really sweet.
Oh my gosh. That is very sweet. That would drive me nuts. Like I can't have anything or anybody touching me like while I'm sleeping, but
A little furry body. She's so fuzzy.
remember when I talked about Reggie's big meaty thighs once?
I
You were,
do.
Like, creeped out by that.
I do remember that. I think about that all the time. Would you recommend this experience for somebody to try it out?
Yeah, I think this was a good one to try out because it gave both of us more insight about just how well we sleep in general. I mean, you
Right.
learned a new sleeping technique. I learned that my dogs are slowly killing me.
Right. Well, I mean, right. So some of these ancillary, granted,
Yeah, it's
sleeping
still
on the
important.
floor itself was interesting, and that experience was interesting, but all the ancillary things that happened to us or because we were sleeping on the floor, it taught us a bunch of things.
If you want to learn a bunch of things, you can go to wagonpod.com where you can listen to our show, view our show notes, and subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, and connect to us on Facebook. You can message us or leave us notes. Little love letters and things would be nice every once in a while. We deserve that.
And you can connect with us on Twitter. We're at WagonPod. And please give us iTunes reviews like Pizzybot, who wrote, "We are a fun and funny look at things many of us take for granted."
Thanks, Pizzybot. Email us or contact us in some way. Basically, you can just trip over the internet and find a way to contact us and to tell us your suggestions.
And tell your friends about it. Force them to listen to this
yeah.
podcast and other podcasts.
No, that's totally
as well.
right. Use force.
Thank you to the Pleasure Kills for the use of the song Modern Problems.
Thank you, Pleasure
and
Kills.
thank you to Rumble Marketing for buying us Shrinky Dink plastic for important podcasting tasks.
Thanks, Rumble Marketing. Thank you to our spouses. Can't forget them.
And our children.
Yes. And Julie, I just want to thank you for being my sister.
Oh, you're welcome.
You.
You're not waiting for me to thank you, right?
So next time on the Station Wagon, we'll be giving up eating more calories than we need to eat in a day.
Shorter title to come.
Shorter title to come.
I'm kind of already hungry.
Oh, man. This is not going to be good. Perfect. Really stupid and perfect. God.
I'm sorry, the beer.
Why can't you just do it normally?
No, I just
God.